God is a God that exposes her, and he's exposing things big time. The so-called cheek fake videos of Biden losing it big time really is proven to be true. Biden is losing it big time. Probably the only cheap fake videos are videos showing Biden in a different light, a light that he's with it, because truly he's not.
Especially frail or mentally confused. I'm wondering if the White House is especially worried about the fact that this appears to be a pattern that we're seeing more often.
Yeah, and I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right-wing critics of the president have a credibility problem because of the fact checkers have repeatedly caught them pushing misinformation, disinformation, and so we see this, and this is something coming from your part of the world, calling them cheap fake.
The White House is joining the Biden campaign in pushing back against recent video clips going viral that make President Biden look as though he's confused during public events and other appearances.
This is the entire election as far as I'm concerned. The entire world will be watching. If you are a carbon-based life form, you're going to be watching. If you've got a functioning brainstem, you're going to be watching. Because if Biden goes out there and messes up, it's game over.
Both, however, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare, we're trying to provide housing for Black Americans. The impact on the choice, the idea that they're going to, I'm proposing that everybody, the millionaires pay 1%. So no one I've not raised the cost of Social Security for anybody. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 billionaires in America. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world, considered the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. And he opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country, and they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting. In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which, frankly, they didn't. The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts.
What did I think of the debate? Wow, Rick, to be honest, as a mom, I'm worried about, really now, even more worried than I was before about the next 4.5 months. Joe Biden is not equipped to run this country. Every single person who watched that debate knows it. I think even our Democrat friends know it. Sad thing is, I've seen it for a long time. It was on full display last night. This man is in charge of the nuclear codes. That scares the heck out of me.
I think for the country, watching the debate last night, it was shocking
But for me, I was like, this is something that we have all known. And I say shame on the Democrats, shame on everyone that knows Joe Biden's severe health decline, where he's at in age, and we'll all get there one day. But it doesn't mean that when we are in that place that we should be clinging to power. And that's something that's really concerning to me. I thought President Trump did an incredible job in the debate last night. It was frustrating to watch Joe Biden stumble and stumble. It was embarrassing for our country. And I think that the difference is really clear. So, you know, congratulations to President Trump. Job well done. It was absolutely what we wanted to see. And I look forward to see what happens. I don't know, is Joe Biden going to drop out? I know there's pressure there for him to do so. He said this morning he wasn't going to. Will that change? And I think a lot of people are wondering what's going to happen.
Congresswoman, talking about the debate last night, as I know all of you are and everyone is around the country. It was a stark display, a big contrast between the two candidates for president. I think what everybody has seen now with their own two eyes, what they've all witnessed in an almost surprising fashion for some. I'm not sure why it was surprising to them, because we've been saying this for a long time, but there was only one man on that stage who is capable and qualified of being elected president in the next term, and his name is Donald J. Trump. And the current occupant of the White House, President Biden, showed what he's really about. I think on every metric of performance, President Trump obviously did much better. He was right on the issues. He showed the temperament, the stamina, the mental acuity that is necessary to do this really important job at this really important time in American history.
I think I should start by saying, without any apologies, that I love Joe Biden and Jill, and I will gladly debate anybody, anytime, any place, anywhere over the issue of whether Joe Biden has been the most effective president in passing bipartisan legislation, in expanding NATO, in responding to the rising threat coming from China, by flexing America's strength around China, by having the strongest economy in the world, bar none, the strongest economy actually relative to the rest of the world in 50, 60, 70 years, the strongest dollar in half a century, the strongest military relative to the rest of the world, I would argue, and many others would argue, since 1945. I think his presidency has been an unqualified success. If, however, you believe, as do I, and as do so many people who watch this program and who fear just how dark of a place a second Donald Trump term will take America, then I think it's critical that we ask the same questions about this man I love, respect, and whose public service in saving this country from Donald Trump over the last 3.5 years I honor and always will. I think we have to ask the same questions of him that we have asked of Donald Trump since 2016, and that is, if he were CEO and he turned in a performance like that, would any corporation in America, any Fortune 500 corporation in America, keep him on as CEO? If this were Donald Trump, time and time again, we talked about the Goldwater. Where's the Barry Goldwater? To walk over and tell Richard Nixon it was over, to tell Donald Trump it was over. And now the question is, do Democrats need to do the same thing of Joe Biden?